Hi folks, and welcome to this week's discussion topic, which is all about tax on inherited properties. So the main thing to be aware of is that there's no tax as such on an inherited property. You can take that property on and you can live in it, and there wouldn't be any capital gains tax or any tax whatsoever. You've actually got a 2-year time frame to decide what you're going to do with the property, and during that time, whether you live in it or you rent it out, there's no tax implications whatsoever. The main thing to be aware of is if you decide to hold on and rent that property out after that 2 years, then there is a capital gains tax associated for when you sell the property. So the growth of the property from when you owned it through to when you sold it is capital gains tax assessed. Now, if you decide to live in the property, like mentioned, no dramas. You can live in it for as long as you like as your principal place of residence. Now, things get a little tricky if you take over that property and it was already operating as an investment property. You see, if it was purchased after 1985, you need to be aware that the time frame from when it was purchased through to when you eventually sell it, that entire time frame, the property is subject to that capital gains tax. And it can be quite a significant amount of money if it was purchased, say, in 1990 and sold now. There'll be a lot of growth on that property. If, however, the property was purchased before 1985, there is a concessionaire which means that you would only be charged a capital gains tax from when you took it over as the inherited party through to when you sold it. So a big difference on how it's assessed whether it was purchased before or after 1985. The main thing also to be aware of is that if you've held an investment property, whether it's an inherited one or otherwise, and you've held it for more than 12 months, there is a capital gains tax concession where 50% of the gain is yours and it's not taxed, and you are taxed on the remaining 50%. The way that tax works is that it goes on top of your taxable income. So of course it does depend what tax threshold you're on as to how much capital gains tax you'd end up paying. So all of that means you should probably get some good tax advice from your accountant or similar if you own an investment property and you're thinking of selling it, holding on to it and selling it at some point, just to see what that assessment is. So I hope there's been great learning. I hope it doesn't happen to you that a loved one passes away, but if they do, at least you understand how things work with the property that you might inherit from them. Have a great one. See you next week.